going to do something now that we have had so much request for. On my very first show, I did a video with Hulk Hogan, and it was a song I wrote called He's Got a Headlock on My Heart. And I wrote that because in one of those gossip magazines, you know, where they tell everything that ain't true, well, they predicted that I would fall in love with a 300-pound wrestler and that I would make a video.
I don't know if any of you guys have seen
I
this.
thought it was great, and the people wanted to see it again. We got so many calls. Every day I get calls about showing this video. Most of them are from Hulk. But what the heck, I want to see it again, too. So I hope you folks enjoy it again. He's got a headlock on my heart. The story of Starlight Starbright.
Look how big he is here.
First time that I saw him was in a wrestling magazine. Then I watched him on TV, then I bought a ringside seat. His name was Starlight Starbright, the greatest in the land. He sprinkled stardust in my eyes. I was his biggest fan. He's got a headlock on my heart. It was a takedown from the start. He's the master of the art. He's got a headlock on my heart.
300 pounds of magic right here in the ring tonight. Wrestling fans big and small, who's the greatest of them all?
Brilliance, he outshined all the rest, and I loved the heart that beat beneath his massive golden chest.
How amazing is this right now?
In this ring, I be wed.
Do you take this woman to be your lawful wedded wife? I do. And do you take this man to be your lawful wedded husband?
What was that?
I do. I
Kind of looks like
do.
Now pronounce you man and wife.
You may now kiss the bride. He's got a headlock on my heart. That made like it never part. He knew the ropes right from the start. He's got a headlock on my heart.
Isn't this the greatest thing you've ever seen?
It is. Especially when I can tell you where I was recently.
But it's a whole new wrestling match for him.
I can't wait to hear it.
I guess you could say he's pinned me down for a lifetime. He's got a headlock on my heart. It was a takedown from the start. He's the master of the art. He's got a headlock on my heart.
Oh, is that it? There's not more?
I don't know.
I was hoping for more.
I think I see where.
Oh. Sounds like I'm coming in hot. What's up, guys? It's your boy, Tim Zabriskie here. Back at it again with the brand new vid. R.I.P. Mac Miller. Listened to you a lot back in the day. Hope you're at peace. You rock. Anyway, we got a great show for you here today. Hell in a Cell is coming up on, I don't know what, Hell in a Cell is like Sunday, right? So, it's on Monday?
Yeah, exactly.
If only, right? Alright, so let's turn off the Mac. We got a great show for you today. I have the one and only, my homeboy, the only guy I like to talk to wrestling with. I'm just kidding. I like to talk wrestling with everybody. My homie, Phil Stamper. Oh, Phil, I don't even know why it's not showing you right there. It should be showing you. What's happening? What are you looking at? Why are you looking at a map of the danger zone, basically?
Right. It got a lot of criticism for its penetrating shape.
Yeah, I mean, you're down in the Virginia, Maryland area. Are you getting affected by this at all?
Very lightly. We are going to get winds up to like 20 miles per hour where I'm at. Further down the state, they're going to get more. But we've had a very wet summer, and the last week and a half, almost every day has rained. So even places that aren't in a floodplain are at risk of just having standing floodwaters. So,
right.
I mean, this is going to impact everybody from like Baltimore to Florida. So,
that's not good. It's not good at all, actually.
A friend of mine lives in what's called Zone B in the Myrtle Beach area, where they've now evacuated zones A, B, and C. Him and his family are refusing to go. And the police came to his door today and said, make sure that you Ziploc your IDs and tape them to your bodies.
What?
Because that's the only way we're going to be able to identify you.
That's insane. That's not helpful at all. That does
when
not
he told me
bring
that, I was
any...
like, dude, that was not subtle. That was a get your shit and go. Excuse my language.
No, you're fine. That's it's a great assessment of what that is, but yeah, at the same time, it's like what do you do? You know what I mean? What is it that you're supposed to really do in that situation? I mean, the only thing that I can kind of relate it to was Sandy. When Sandy hit, guess where I decided I was gonna live? That was the Rockaways, yeah. So basically, if during Hurricane Sandy, that was Zone 1. Now, have they made disaster zones yet for you or anything?
Just, different states have made those different designations. So
okay.
I know in Virginia, they've asked for mandatory evacuations in at least Zone A. South Carolina, it's much more extreme. So
yeah.
I mean, they're expecting 9 to 13 feet of storm surge. So
gotcha. So you're at work right now. I mean, we're not going to talk about where or anything like that, but right. Is it windy? Is it just raining? Like, what's the deal?
It's very overcast. It was weird. Like today felt a little bit like the calm before the storm.
Right.
Like I said, it's been raining for almost a week and a half, 2 weeks straight. And today was the first full day without like rain. Mm-hmm. And it was just starting to sprinkle again after being like pretty heavily, just dark and cloudy. So we'll see. Though my office is in the DC area, I actually live about an hour and a half to the southeast.
Yeah.
So I know I'm going to get a little bit more and, debating, should I just stay home that day instead of getting in a car?
Yeah. I mean, I think that they'll let you take a personal day, work from home sort of deal. Right.
Right.
At least it's not like, it's not like the 1980s with like a job like yours where, it's a lot of interactions and things like that. At least now, like, you could kind of get away with, working that day from home if they even want you to work. You know what I mean? It's not like you have to drive there especially during a crisis like this.
Right. I will say, and I don't know if this was weather related or what happened. We actually had a power outage about an hour ago.
Oh, really?
So I don't know if that's a sign of things to come or what's going on. And one of the reasons I'm still here is because I needed to finish up.
Oh, right. Well, at least you were able to, spend a couple minutes with your homeboy.
The following announcement.
I meant to hit that.
By the New World Order.
Speaking of things that are coming up, have you heard? Have you heard?
I've heard.
You've heard about this Pro Wrestle Fest?
This is going to be an awesome thing.
It is absolutely going to be an awesome thing. So the Pro Wrestle Fest, it's happening at Mohegan Sun. It's happening on March 2nd of next year. And by the looks of things, as we scroll through the Facebook page at Pro Wrestle Fest, is the easiest way to find it. You can definitely see that it's looking like it's going to be a huge, if not the biggest, NWO reunion that I've ever seen.
I mean, that's a chock full of NWO.
Exactly. So, I think that this is going to be a sweet one. It's a rare appearance by the NWO Sting. I mean, I wonder what kind of stories he has. If I don't know. Did you ever hear any sort of stories about this guy having heat or anything in the back for being Sting, supposedly?
Not really. I mean, I think there was a lot more of a sense of people getting mad than they realized that, oh, wait a minute, there were times that Sting wasn't able to make it. He used this guy as sort of a fill-in.
Yeah.
At that time, that was sort of some of the sense of it. And I remember there were a lot of fans who were really confused, not understanding, wait a minute, who is this guy? There's another Sting? Yeah.
Exactly. So the coolest thing about this whole event is that more and more stars are being added left and right. So what I'm excited about is that we actually get an exclusive right here on the Tim Zabriskie Show for the next two. And I don't know, are you excited to hear who it's going to be?
I am. I really am. I can't believe you got the exclusive.
I don't know. I'm a little popular every once in a while, but here they are. Drum roll, please. I actually got the drum roll, but you're good. We got Virgil. Oh man, probably the most impressive person of the NWO. Now, when you think of Virgil or Vincent in the NWO, who else do you relate to? That guy right there, the $1 Million Man. Ted DiBiase will be appearing March 2nd, 2019 at Pro WrestleFest at Mohegan Sun Casino. It's looking like it's going to be a pretty sweet event, if you ask me. The phone lines are open here at the Tim Zabriskie Show as Phil, the president of wrestling, and I break down this pay-per-view. You're more than welcome to call in, join in, give us your opinions and everything like that. But yeah, Phil, the WWE... Hell in a Cell is what we are going over today. Are you excited for this pay-per-view?
We're already going to commercial?
I already hit the wrong button.
Is that how you're feeling already?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm very bittersweet about this. There's been so much. Okay. I feel like we're hearing so much other things about WWE and its business that I feel like I've gotten lost in what's happening.
I agree.
So and I'll be honest, this is also a very busy time for me in my life outside of wrestling. So
right.
Though I have watched, part of me is not fully engaged in the way I should be.
I'm in the same boat. I mean, when you watch all the shows, if you watch Raw, you watch SmackDown, you see that they're also trying to plug other things. We got this show, that's Sunday. We got Evolution coming up. The first ever all women's pay-per-view, and then not only that, but then we also get Super Show, and we're getting these promos with Triple H and Shawn and Undertaker and everything like that, and it's hard to really I don't know, it's interesting to me because there's part of me that says, okay, they're really trying to make that balance, you know what I mean, really trying to show give enough, by balance I mean giving enough time to each segment and each show per segment and everything like that. But do you think that they're spreading themselves too thin for the promotional purposes?
I don't know, because I do feel that they have done a decent job segmenting. I feel like when we had the world's greatest Royal Rumble, that it was too much. You just get off WrestleMania. There was 2 other pay-per-views they were talking about. In this way, I feel like they've made some clearer distinctions instead of sort of blending everything into one. They're not talking about, Triple H has to get through Hell in a Cell, and then in October he's gonna have to defend his women's title. But right. So I feel like they've kept everybody on their own clear track, which pay-per-view they're going into.
Right.
At least from the perception that I have so far, But I do think in the case of a Roman Reigns, I think they're going to be moving very quickly. So I think this pay-per-view will wrap up, and then they'll focus very much so on what's going to happen at Super Show.
Exactly. So it's I agree with you. Like we're going into this one, but then Evolution is 2 weeks later. Now let's start our predictions for this show, going over the women's matches on the card, because obviously in the same boat as we're talking about, they're going to be going from show to show. You know what I mean? So let's see where we're at with that. So what's the first women's show that we got going on?
So we have the Raw Women's Championship champion Ronda Rousey versus Alexa Bliss.
What do you think about Ronda being the champion already?
I mean, from a certain standpoint, I get it. The press exposure to that. I do feel in the world of professional wrestling, maybe it was too fast.
Right.
For me personally, I always thought there was more out of having a contender run for a championship as opposed to like, oh, they're now the champion. Look at them. Because that really doesn't help them to develop. It really doesn't help get the same press. I think is like, oh, she's coming for the title. She's coming for the title. Where it's like, oh, she's champion. Like you can't kind of go higher than that. So
right, but at the same time though, too, with what you're saying, like even though the chase, let's say, was only really 2-3 months between her facing Nia at whatever pay-per-view to SummerSlam, to Alexa getting the title. Oh, Money in the Bank, right? She fought Nia at Money in the Bank. Alexa cashed in, and then we got to SummerSlam. Even though that was really like a month for her to get there, what you're saying with there's more money in the chase. I agree there, but they also did it in the number one market in the country, right? And then they also did it. They did it for their second show, SummerSlam, which has always been, to them at least, a little bit under. So it makes sense. And yes, they could have really dragged it out and really allowed her to establish more of her skill set and stuff like that. But it is Ronda. So I agree with you in the sense of in the wrestling world, like maybe it was too fast, but shit, at the end of the day, as we've said a bunch of times on the show already, they're a business, you know what I mean? They care more about all of that media exposure. But my thought on that same too is I didn't really see as much media exposure as I thought I was going to see with her winning the belt. I don't know, it very well could have been an ESPN, but it wasn't as trending online as I thought it was going to be.
I do agree. I did think that there would be some carryover, but in many ways, the carryover that's happened for the UFC has come from pro wrestling fans, I think, because they've modeled the style of presentation after pro wrestling.
Right.
So I don't know how many mainstream fans or UFC fans got pulled back into pro wrestling just because it was Ronda Rousey. And I'm not saying that she's not worthy of it. I'm just saying, has this worked in that way? But certainly plenty of mainstream press coverage on Ronda Rousey getting her title shot going into SummerSlam. The month after, she also got into the UFC Hall of Fame. So
yeah, I mean, I think that they were expecting like think about the press that they were getting though when she signed, right? When she got that press when she signed it, I was like, whoa, this is huge. I'm almost certain that they were expecting that again, and they didn't get it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Call me crazy, right? But it's almost as if she might be losing at this pay-per-view. What?
A couple years ago, I went to Halloween Horror Nights down at Universal Studios.
Okay.
And they had a bald-headed Britney Spears come out, and she put her finger up like this, and whenever she wanted to make the point that she had lost her mind, you would hear crazy, and there was a spotlight on her finger. So whenever I do this,
what?
This just means crazy.
Okay, is this gonna? Can somebody, if anybody's watching this, can you please make this a meme? Or just one of those animated GIFs of him just going like this. Or if we both can do it at the same time, yeah. And then just make it a GIF. I'll try to do it later, but I know a lot of you are more skilled than I am. But yeah. So where are you going with this whole crazy thing? Do you think that she's crazy or they're crazy? You're like, what are you trying to say?
Whatever it was came into my mind right then and there. Because I can't remember what you said now, but So, okay, the biggest piece of all of this, if you're bringing in a UFC star to fight in the WWE, man, woman, whatever, it's believability.
Right.
Right? And even some of that ability to suspend your disbelief. Well, so for Ronda Rousey, when it came to like her and Alexa Bliss, the night after SummerSlam, here's Alexa Bliss with her arm in a sling.
Mm-hmm.
And, it kind of felt like, is this going to happen? And then she's like out of the sling and everything's fine. And now Rousey is like nursing bruised ribs, or I don't know. Like it like all the logic isn't quite there. Like Ronda Rousey is a competitive MMA fighter. She has a brown belt or a black belt in judo. She won the silver medal in judo. Like, she knows how to do an armbar.
Yeah.
She does the pro wrestling version of it, and it looks like crap. Alexa Bliss does a better looking armbar than Ronda Rousey, and
that's sad. Yeah,
logic.
Exactly. And going with what you're saying, especially with her being an MMA fighter instead of being like a pro wrestler. And I wish that we had gotten a chance to do this show after SummerSlam, because the one thing that I was getting really frustrated with, and I know she's trying and I know she's going and doing what she's supposed to do, but I just am not convinced by her speaking ability. And I'm not talking about promos here. I'm talking about when she's in the ring. So if you think about when, I don't know if you can see this as vividly as I can, but there was the part of the match where, Alexa went to and she powdered, which if you don't know what powder means, it means she left the ring, okay? And she went to powder, she went to go up the rope or up the ramp, and Ronda's like screaming like, "Why don't you be a champion? All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my back to you and I'm going to sit down." And honestly, it just sounded really annoying, and it really wasn't convincing. You know what I mean? Like, she could have done the same thing. And I was explaining this to my now fiance, actually.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. Oh, I hit the wrong button. It wasn't. That was supposed to be the.
Wow. You hit the laugh track, and that just made it. Nope.
I fucked it all up. I don't even know where the clap track is. But anyway, she, like, if she had been like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna turn my back, and then you grab me," that would have been a lot better than her just kind of screaming and things like that. And like, I get the point that she was trying to make, and I get what the agents were trying to do there, but she's just not a convincing actor yet. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not to mention, she almost killed Alexa on that Samoan drop.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, holy
so much of that, and the way she did that armbar, I'm like,
yeah. I was like, holy.
Wow.
It's like just like that. Like, it just didn't even make sense. But anyway, going back into this match, who are the competitors and who do you have to win this?
I'm going to say they have to keep it on Ronda right now. Like, I don't think they've made it enough for Alexa to win unless it's dirty.
Right. I mean, we can have Mickey in place, but I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with Alexa here, because the reason why I'm gonna go with her is that because they didn't get the reaction from the media that we were talking about. You know what I mean? So I think that they're gonna take it off her and do exactly as you said, have that chase going either for the Rumble, but if they're smart, they'd wait for it for Mania. Her winning at Mania will get more of the reaction. You know what I mean? I do feel like they kind of wasted it there.
So you're saying Survivor Series?
Yes, Survivor Series. I gotta move those two buttons around. That one and that one. That's it. All right. So the next women's match, what do we got?
We have Becky Lynch against the SmackDown Women's Champion, Charlotte Flair.
All right, so let's get into this one. I really liked that they turned Becky heel, or attempted to turn Becky heel. The whole thing is that they just need to keep up with it. I feel like they're kind of cracking, right? Because I did see some clips of her cutting the promos, and the fans don't know whether to boo her or whether to cheer her. I think that she could, and I don't know, I'm using this loosely, she could very well be in another category as like an Austin 316, where she's such an anti-hero. You know what I mean? So if they, and for a chick, that would be pretty sweet. It would be something completely different. I think that they need to just keep going with that. Just having her, and if they really want to turn her heel, just have her start attacking everybody. Don't but on her relentless assault going to Charlotte.
I mean, I agree with that. Part of me also thinks
that I'm crazy for comparing her to like an Austin 316. I get it.
Well, no, I mean, so behind the scenes, it felt like for a while, they really didn't have anything for Becky. They were so focused on, we have to keep Carmella convincing, and well, here we have Charlotte. No, over on the side is Ronda Rousey. What is she gonna do? Oh yeah, we have Asuka. I felt like there was all of these very top tier contenders on both shows, and then here's Becky Lynch,
right?
And she's just as deserving as anybody else. She's worked tremendously hard. Well, what do we do with her? So behind the scenes, on like a lot of the social media experiences, it was the face of Becky Lynch. She was even putting over other people's stories on like little promos and vignettes behind the scenes,
right?
Or adding just a little bit more to her own stuff on those things.
Yeah, she's a team player. She's just a team player. It's fantastic.
Right. They didn't turn her into the, oh, boo-hoo me, I didn't win the title, or I got screwed out. It was, I'm a badass, and I will show you that I do deserve it.
Right.
And I felt like that was able to stand up on its own. They've also made Becky convincing enough that people do have this vested interest in her. Charlotte has been more heel than face in her time in the WWE. So there's all these weird dynamics that are going on. Now they've even tried to sort of team Becky up with the Bar.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't think if their intention was to turn Becky pure heel, it has not worked that way.
Right.
But like you said, if it's like an anti-heel, have we ever really truly had a female anti-hero?
That's exactly what my point was before you started laughing at me. But I'm saying,
to be fair, I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at you turned the camera just on as just took a bite of pizza. So.
Right. But anyway, so that's where my point was. We haven't. Yeah. I'll see you. But my point being is that you're absolutely right. We haven't really had that in the female demographic. Now, I think that they should kind of take this into the work shoot category, right? Now, if what they really need to do is, of course, right? I got to tell you, me and my now fiance, we have this joke where we become the very much oh, you know what you should do, right? like it's like the joke, oh, you know what you should do because I'm gonna tell you anyway, sort of deal. Even though it's not even up to us or to the person who's saying it, but what they should do is really kind of work in some more of these work shoots. You know what I mean? What I would focus on is how, and they started to do it, but they should really focus on how Charlotte has really gotten a lot of opportunities that maybe she doesn't deserve. You know what I mean? I just feel that what they've done is I'm happy that he's okay, but when Ric Flair got hurt, really sick, and he was in the hospital and stuff like that, they as soon as she came back, she got a title shot. You know what I mean? Now I don't know if she just got hurt or if Rick something happened right in the Flair compound. Let's say.
I think it was both. Honestly, I think she got hurt, and at the same time, Flair got sick.
Right. Again. Right. A second time we're talking about. Right.
Right.
And what happened as soon as she was all ready to go? She gets another opportunity, and she she had said like you don't. She did one promo where I think she said you don't deserve this. They need to continue that route, and you know what I mean. I think that if she maybe even plays the victim card a little bit, it's gonna be really sweet in the long run.
Yeah.
So,
if you saw me looking over here, what I was trying to look at on my other screen was, I thought they had announced Becky Lynch as part of season 2 of the mixed match challenge.
Oh, really?
And they didn't. But they've done these other combinations of people that they're going to smash cut put together and expect fans to be able to follow 2 very divergent storylines like they did last season with mixed match challenge. Say that 10 times fast. It just doesn't make sense to me why they would do they're doing mixed match challenge against their own storylines.
Give me an example. Give me an example.
And it's really not making sense to me now in season 2.
Give me an example.
Okay, so we have, the returning tandem of Braun Strowman and Alexa Bliss. Now it makes sense. They're both heel. Okay, I can get behind that.
I thought they were good together. Do you think they're fucking? Oh, was that too much? Wow. I'm sorry. I didn't want to go there. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know their relationship status. Oh, okay. Did you check Facebook?
But let's see. I'm trying to think. All right. So they have the new combinations of Bobby Lashley and Sasha Banks, Finn Balor and Bayley, who's been a rumored couple before,
right.
Jinder Mahal and Alicia Fox, and fellow Canadians Kevin Owens and Natalya.
Interesting.
And so they've done some heel face combinations. Then on SmackDown Live, they're reteaming The Miz and Asuka, Jimmy Uso and Naomi, Rusev and Lana. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And then new combinations, R-Truth and Carmella.
Okay.
Which WWE calls a new exciting combination.
Yeah, yeah, I can see why. Wow. That's a little racist if you ask me. It's very underlined racist if you ask me.
And then the new exciting combination of WWE Champion AJ Styles and SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair.
Well, they're like friends because of like Flair, right? So
right.
that makes sense to me.
But if they're teasing Flair going heel,
okay,
like that's the confusion. Like, and then also like you've totally stacked this deck of you have your 2 top champions in a tag team together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but we've seen now the logic of WWE. There is no logic, so there's nothing hurt if they lose a match.
Yeah, they don't give a shit.
In 2 weeks, they expect you to have forgotten it.
Exactly.
And it's for Facebook mixed match challenge.
Yeah. They're basically doing what we're doing, but, they're not doing it in their bedroom or at their work office.
They're getting better paid to do it.
Exactly, yeah. All right, so AJ and Charlotte are going over in that whole thing.
There you go.
We're done with that. But as far as this match that we're talking about here, we have who are the competitors that we're going at again?
Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch.
All right. It sucks to see, but like I'm gonna have to go with Charlotte. You know what I mean? Like it's like I'm just not convinced yet unless this is the match where if they keep the belt on Ronda, right? Which I don't want to happen. I want Alexa to go over. Maybe unless Becky's winning dirty, you know what I mean? Then they're keeping it on Charlotte, Right. But who do you got?
You know what? Just to be different, I'm going to say Becky.
You're going to go Becky? Good. Somebody
And make it a hot rivalry, even if they're chasing each other back and forth a little bit. Let's go Becky.
All right. Is that all for the women?
That is all. No, there was a mixed match challenge match.
What? Already? Okay. So this is how they're going to lead in to this other thing that they're expecting us to watch.
Not from the mixed match challenge. That term was in my head because it's Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella versus The Miz and Maurice.
This one, what did you think of their match at SummerSlam?
I expected more. I really did.
Yep.
I thought it was actually. I liked the match. I just thought it was going to be more contentious, more more of the rivalry. And I felt it was almost too clean of a match.
Yeah, I mean, it was what it was. It really just showed that what kind of a workhorse, you know what I mean, that Daniel Bryan is. But besides
and I'm saying too clean of a match after, you know, the Miz won dirty, and that's not what I mean. It's meant the match itself didn't feel like 99% of it presented a rivalry until the last half second. It was
not AJ and Samoa Joe on that show, because AJ and Samoa Joe even got me, who's like a really smart mark, just being like, ooh, that was really fucking good. You know what I mean? It wasn't like that. This one was just kind of like, yeah, it's fun. It's a good little thing that we got going on, but at the same time, like, all right, I get it. You know, you know what I mean? Like. So okay, so from that,
it's like pause, like,
yeah, no. I don't know why these comments just disappeared. Stupid. Who do you have for this match then? Because I don't know. My whole thing is like, who's watching all these children that the both of these couples have had?
Well, you have Maurice's mom.
Okay.
On the next episode of Ms. and Mrs. And then Nikki's not in this match, so Nikki could be watching.
Nikki's on the card though, isn't she? Isn't she doing something? She's definitely there. She's not just hanging out.
She's there, but she can watch the kid in the back for a minute.
Do you really think that they brought their kid on the road with them?
Probably not. They probably have somebody else watching.
Yeah, I don't think that they would do something like that unless they're assholes, because that's I don't know how many wrestling locker rooms that Brie Bella's been in except for the one, but shit, that's a bad move. I don't care. They're a family. We're a family around here.
Right.
You know what I mean? That doesn't make any sense to bring a child around on the road like that. Jeez.
Because of Ms. and Mrs., you know, very much the Mrs. Maurice's pregnancy was literally on display. Like, that was the whole point of the first few episodes of their show.
Right.
If the baby was present, or like, oh look, baby Miz in the back, I wouldn't be shocked. Like, I just wouldn't be shocked at all.
Yeah, I guess, you know, it just shows that how fucking whack these guys are, where they think that's okay. You know what I mean? Like, you know who's gonna win this whole match? Child Protective Services.
Oh. I mean, no, they would just say, baby actor.
Yeah, he's an actor. Yeah. All right. So, in terms of the match, classic baby faces versus classic heels. Heels went over in the last one. Who's going over in this one? Do you think that this is going to be the big babyface pop?
Nope. I'm saying it's Miz and Maurice.
Wow. Really? Okay. All right. I'm going to go the opposite of you.
On the heels of their brand new show. I think, again, I think there's more in this fight.
Okay. I'm gonna disagree with you. I just think that, you know, this is gonna be the end of it. You know what I mean? They didn't get what they. Do you think that they got what they wanted out of the last one?
No, I don't think the fans got what they wanted.
Okay, the fans didn't get what they wanted, but do you think that Vince got what he wanted out of the last match?
Well, what Vince wants is a successful payment model.
Right.
So either they're going to use this for Super Show, or they're going to wait and dangle this carrot in front of us until Survivor Series.
I'm trying to think of where this could go. I think that we'll get Brie versus Maurice at the Women's Evolution pay-per-view, right?
Maybe. I thought they were saying the Bellas were in tag action. I might have misunderstood that. Maybe it was just that both Bellas were going to be in action.
I think that you're right there, because didn't the both of them just didn't they just have a tag match on Monday too? And that was leading into for the promotion of that pay-per-view, right?
I do think you are right.
But even so, if it was them versus Maurice and, I don't know, Who's Nikki kind of feuding with right now? Nobody, because
right, I was gonna say I don't know if she's really feuding with anybody right now, except for maybe Mickie James. Oh no, they've already announced that it's going to be Mickie James versus Lita.
Right. So maybe we'll get Maurice and somebody else versus both of the Bella twins, right?
Have they shared who John Cena's new girlfriend is? Maybe it'll be Nikki Bella versus her.
I don't know about that. Oh man, did you see him? Did you see those pictures of him though? That dude was looking jacked. That guy was looking crazy big for this new Jackie Chan movie coming out. He's lost like 15 pounds or something like that. He
lost. Well, I don't even think he lost weight. I just think he trimmed and it all went into muscle mass.
Yeah, and you know what causes that? A breakup.
He's dehydrated from all the alcohol.
Exactly. All right, we're gonna take a quick little commercial break, and then we'll finish up the rest of the card here on the Tim Zabriskie Show. Let's go.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Babe,
yeah.
What shirt are you wearing?
My Tim Zabriskie Show shirt.
Make sure you update your IMDb, Phil, for that sweet commercial I just put you in.
Will do.
The Tim Zabriskie Show t-shirt is available. $10 plus shipping and handling wherever the hell you are in the world. It's pretty sweet, right? Phil, you got
absolutely.
You wear it every day before you go to bed, right?
There you go.
Make sure you DM me wherever you're watching this video, and we'll talk about how to get you one. They're sweet. Brought to you by Green Mountain Prints and Dyes. My boy Damien hooked us up. All right, so let's go into the rest of the card. Where are we at? What do we got?
Let's go to the SmackDown Tag Team Championship between New Day and Rusev Day.
Yeah, I was thinking about this. It's funny that it's on a Sunday because I was trying to figure out which day of the week this one was on.
Why couldn't you have hit that when you announced your engagement?
Wow. Yeah. I figured out where the buttons are and everything like that. Okay, so I do you know the backstory behind this build-up? Because I certainly don't.
Of course, the New Day were going into it. They actually just had a match on SmackDown to determine who was going to go into the match against New Day. And Rusev Day beat The Bar.
Okay.
But it's confusing because they've spent so much time going, Aiden English and Rusev are going to be separated, and now it seems that they're rekindling their friendship.
Well, maybe they're just going to continue with that feud then, right? Or that supposed feud?
Right. Because it's believable that Aiden English could beat Rusev?
No, well, it's just going to be a ploy to, keep Rusev over and then get him on to the next thing, but I don't know why. If this is what I don't get with them sometimes, right? If it's working, why change it? You know what I mean? Just let this ride out. Why do we have to? I got it. Like, who's that one asshole writer that's like, I got it? You know what I mean? Just like Sandman. That was my Sandman impression. You ever see that promo with Sandman where he's like, he's like, I'll jab you and you Pearl Harbor me. Did you ever see that thing he did for NoDQ.com back in the day? But
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, but basically it's like if it's working, just let it ride out, or I don't know. Like,
you know who's writing it this way? Do you want to know who's writing it this way? Vince McMahon.
You think this is coming straight from him? Really?
Everything is approved by him. So he's made decisions he's making for whatever reason he's making them.
I bet you it was one writer that like Vince called in and was like, listen, you're on the chopping block, kid. Like, you got to come up with something good. And the other guy was Sandman, and Sandman was like, I got it. He's like, why don't we take one of the hottest pops that we have and split them up? And Vince was like, by God, you're a genius.
But to be fair, like, Rusev could do without Aiden English. Aiden English could do without Rusev.
Exactly. That's why it sucks for Aiden English. Because,
right,
like, where does he go?
Aiden has some job security. I hate to say it like this, because he's married to into a wrestling family, so like he has some protection, I think.
Who?
He's married to Eddie Guerrero's daughter.
That doesn't okay. In the grand scheme of things, does that really mean anything at this point? No offense.
I do think it does. If anything, I do think that Vince has a strong place when it comes to relationships and families inside of professional wrestling,
especially to a family that he almost too much. I was gonna say that he almost helped murder the biggest draw from the family. Was that too much? A little bit. I'm sorry.
But wow. I mean, look at the Samoan family and the success that they've had, and they're all under the lineage of Afa.
Right.
I mean, so I do feel that Vince, when there's a family connection inside of wrestling, I think he I don't want to say he celebrates it, but I think he keeps an eye out for it, especially if there's been some kind of connection.
I guess. Why don't we give the guy a little credit and say that Vince likes singers?
Okay, let's go for it.
Vince is a big fan of singers. If you agree with or disagree that that English is going to be around for a while, give us a call, 518-350-4312. If you're listening to this on Spotify or Anchor.fm or any of those networks, the phone lines are more than likely closed. But I think that I don't really know. I don't think that this is a good move, because I'm gonna go with it. This is gonna be where they split up. Aiden English is gonna be the one. They're gonna do it where Aiden English messes up and he costs them the match. Right?
It's the final comeuppance of Aiden English.
It's the final countdown. Yes.
Okay, thank you, because now it's in my head. It's the final countdown.
Oh, it looks like we're getting a call.
We're getting a call?
Hi, you're on the air.
Yo.
Who's
it? Hey, what's going on, man? Justin Blankenship.
Oh, Justin Blankenship, all the way from Texas. How's it going? Who do you? So what?
It's going good, man. It's going good.
Good. Who do you think is going to win this match here coming up between the New Day and Rusev Day?
You know, I gotta pick hands-on favorite. Is going to be the New Day. I mean, I like Rusev Day. Cesaro and Rusev, or not Cesaro. I like this Rusev Day angle that they're going, but there's too much money on the table for New Day not to walk out with the championship. They are practically the spokespeople, the face of the WWE. And, everybody already knows if you're, labeled as the face of the WWE, you got to have some gold around here.
What premise do you think, and I think with Phil's eyebrows that I see right here, what premise do you consider the New Day to be the face of the WWE?
They've had a lot of really good feuds here recently. Man, that's.
Do you want to say I apologize for saying that the face of the WWE?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I get what you're saying though.
Right? A respectable gentleman.
Right. He knows when he's wrong. It's okay. No, but the thing is that
he knows when he's wrong.
I I get what you're saying. You know what I mean? They if you want to say anything, then they're like the token tag team of the WWE. But and you know they do a lot of appearances. I recently saw that thing that they did with Triple H and Stephanie on the Tonight Show. So I get kind of where you're saying, but as far as the face of the WWE, because they do a lot of mainstream stuff, I would say the face of the WWE would still have to be with either, you know, a part timer like John Cena or even with a Rusev. You know what I mean? So. I get where you're.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at. Is they're the promotional advertisement piece. That's a better term to use.
Right.
You know, they are McMahon's go-to for, you know, oh, we need a commercial. Oh, we need someone for, you know, we just partnered with Post Cereal, or we just need someone, you know, whatever. They are attracted by the younger generation on that. So, you know, this is going to be a good pay-per-view, and it's going to be a lot of fun for me to be there live watching it.
Oh, you're going? Where is it? Is it in San?
It is in my hometown. It is in my hometown, and I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there live this Sunday.
That's awesome. Where do you know where you're sitting? Did you get good seats?
I'm sitting in section 209, so I kind of not like the super down low seats, but I'm like terrace level. So
that's awesome. Well, we hope that you have a great time at the show, and you know, thanks for calling in, bud.
Hey, no worries, guys. Love the show, by the way.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You got your T-shirt, right?
I got the T-shirt, and I put the check in the mail today.
You're the man. All right, I'll talk to you later.
Take care.
All right. So he's going with New Day. Are you gonna back that on New Day?
I'm gonna go Rusev Day.
Oh, Rusev Day.
I'm going Rusev Day.
Wow, that's hilarious. I don't know. I'm gonna go completely opposite with you. Joseph Burgess has said that he believes that Rusev and English will win because they are the SmackDown Live version of the B Team. Wow.
Oh.
Wow. Wow. Joseph, I don't know about that. That's a hurtful thing to say there, but Justin, I hope you have a good time. Thank you for buying the T-shirt. If you want to join into the show, give us a call right at this phone number below, 518-350-4312. You're going with Rusev Day. I'm gonna go with New Day as well. I think for the reasons that I said before, it's gonna cause a split, have them have a little feud, and then it's gonna be showing up to the arena and not having a match for good old Leighton English. That's it. All right. So,
if you want to talk about something that I think is going to get super convoluted, how about the Raw Tag Team Championship?
Okay.
You have Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre defending against Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose.
Wow. I have no idea where they're going. How this is going to play out. What are you thinking? Because it looks like you got some words at the tip of your tongue.
So since you mentioned the B Team, they were the Raw Tag Team Champions.
Yeah.
And then you had in singles competition, each member of the Revival beat each member of the B Team. Then in tag team competition, they beat them. Then they were going to have a match that then Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre beat up Revival behind the scenes. So then the Revival couldn't compete.
Okay.
Then taking the place of them to go into this match, thanks to Corbin, now interim general manager, Darren. Yeah. No, Baron Corbin. Sorry, Darren.
Derek Corbin.
The Corbin. In the meantime, while they were having this run against Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, I have this feeling that we're going to see interjections of the B Team and the Revival during this matchup.
Oh, okay. And then this will set up for Survivor Series where we get a Survivor Series or a good match for the Super Show, basically. So we're gonna go this as a no DQ, or a total DQ finish is basically where you're going with this one.
DQ or an impromptu 8-man or 4-way tag.
Ooh, could you imagine how hot that would be if they went with that 4-way tag? How sweet would that be? All of a sudden we get this match, and then B Team's music hits, and I remember when I went to Raw a couple months ago, B Team was fucking over. Like I don't know if they're still as over as they were then, but between that and then the Revival, I don't know. I know that there's the whole F the Revival. That's what all the cool kids are saying because the Bullet Club's over. But I don't know. I think they're good wrestlers.
And so the Revival confused me. I don't think the WWE really knows what they want to do with the Revival. I think they were like, we like this.
Yeah.
We think, but they're not really sure where to go with them. Mm-hmm. And that they, I think, tried to position it on the Anniversary Raw where here comes the Revival in the middle of this NWO segment. And I really think they were trying to do a Bullet Club comparison to the NWO to try to get that crowd to do F the Revival. And I don't think
you're talking like 2 years ago, right? Or last year, whenever they did that
like
whole thing.
January, yeah. And the crowd just didn't get into it because they weren't that's not where they were. I don't think they fed them that. But I was like, it was so right there. It was on the very edge cusp of it because Finn Balor came out. That's right.
Yeah. And then they
in the club.
Then they turned the whole club into the, because that's where they were really trying to go with that. Right. I get. Right. I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah. So yeah, they people were just kind of getting confused by where they should go with that.
I think it just felt so weird when Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre sort of like bum rushed the Revival. It's like, okay, like we're just gonna smash cut them in, because
because it almost felt like, I don't know, somebody in the back just wasn't confident with what was going on. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was just like, and that very well could be our boy Vince, who basically was just like, yeah, I don't know about all this. You know what I mean? So maybe that's where this is all happening, but maybe you're right. Maybe this is going to turn into something bigger later on, where we're going to get a fatal 4-way, if not at this show, then at the Super Show. You know what I mean? I really like where your head is at. I'm not going to change anything about that. I'm going to go with total DQ finish on that, and we'll go from there.
All right. Next up, we have. All right, we'll go to for the WWE Championship. Champion AJ Styles defends against Samoa Joe.
Ooh, I love this feud. I love everything that they're doing. It's classic. It's old school. It's like taking a little sip of the wine glass of the Attitude Era sort of deal. You know what I mean? Just like, no, not, you don't think so? No. Oh, more like TNA, like with Claire Vick or whatever, right? Is that better for you? Yeah.
Well, the only reason I'm saying no to the Attitude Era is because there's no stipulation in this match other than it's for the title, and that they're giving the Attitude Era-esque match to who's going to be in the non-title Hell in the Cell match. So
right.
Yeah.
Wait, this match here, you're telling me that this match has disqualification involved in it again, especially after exactly what happened at the SummerSlam pay-per-view?
Yes, it does.
What's the point of that? So that we can do this again? That must be what the point is, so that, Samoa Joe will just get right under his skin again and, tell his wife that he's going to send him home and that she can call him daddy and wow.
I do kind of feel like this is just going to be a perpetual feud between the two of them, and that Samoa Joe will never be anywhere. Like, this is the closest he's ever going to be to the title. It almost feels like that to me. Like, he's going to be perpetually like, I'm better than you.
Yeah.
But I like your wife, and she likes me too. Like,
yeah. And say hi to Dixie for me.
I forgot her name. It's not Linda.
It's like Megan or something like that, right?
It's gonna be Megan Joe
or Tracy or
it's gonna be Samoa Tracy.
Oh, stupid. Yeah, absolutely. Tracy Joe.
Tracy Joe.
I used to know a girl named like Billy Joe or Bobby Joe or something like that, and she was a hooah. I'm not friends with her on Facebook, so it's okay. Anyway, so Oh yeah, absolutely. So anyway, so who do you have going over in this one?
AJ Styles.
AJ Styles, he's keeping the belt.
Yes.
You don't see that. You don't see them at all trying to go with the chase, right? Going into the Survivor Series or Super Show or.
Oh, I think they'll keep the feud going, but I think they'll keep the belt on AJ Styles.
Okay. I mean, how long has he had the belt for at this point?
That's a good point. Did he have it at WrestleMania?
Yep.
Yeah, he did.
Because he beat Shinsuke Nakamura.
Good 8 months at least.
He's had it longer than that. It's almost been a year since he's had it.
Yeah.
If not a year since he's had it. Write in the comments below how long AJ Styles has had the championship.
Looking it up.
Oh, okay. Just trying to get some audience interaction here, okay?
Oh, I'm sorry. Please, audience, participate. I love you, too.
I like how at the end of that sound bit, there's that person that's like coughing. So good. Oh, yeah, okay. Do you have the answer?
No, this doesn't make sense. All right. Styles replaced Mahal in the champion versus champion match of Survivor Series against Universal Brock. Oh, which we're going to lose. Sorry. He claimed his second WWE championship, became recognized by the WWE as the first title holder crowned outside of the United States in November 7th.
Right.
2017. So, yeah, almost a year.
So, yeah, we'll go with, I don't know, 340 days, right? How does that sound? Nope, maybe more. 320. 320 days. 25 days. 6, 27, 28.
Let's say like 305-ish.
Fine. Okay. We'll have it your way then. Write the real answer in the comments below, if you will. And yeah, so you're gonna go with they're keeping the belt on AJ Styles. I'm gonna go the opposite of you. I'm gonna go with Samoa Joe. I think that there's gonna be just some sort of distraction from the family. Maybe his wife or his kid will, I don't know, put silly string in his face or something like that. It'll allow Samoa Joe to give him like a I don't know, like a full Nelson suplex onto the floor and then roll him into the ring and give him like a senton splash and pin him. And then we'll continue this with the rematch clause going into Super Slam or Summer Pop.
Hey, his oldest son is now 13. Wasn't that about how old Reed Flair was when he first got on WCW? So maybe like, hey, we'll see the in-ring debut of AJ Covell Jones.
Huh. You know, I read something on Reddit the other day that said with AJ that, and I thought that was funny, was that Triple H said to him, like, yeah, I don't think that we're going to be able to use your name, you know, and AJ was just like, yeah, that's cool with me, except I got this big AJ tattoo on my ribs, so I don't know what you're going to do. And then that's when they decided that they were just going to stick with AJ Styles, because it's like, yeah, you're right. Everyone knows who you are anyway, you know?
I can't remember some of the names I was hearing that they were going to call him, like AJ Styles-ish or AJ, like they would keep AJ but like modify his last name to something else.
Styly, like reggae, like Rastafarian, like reggae styly. Yeah, man. Could you imagine if they tried to repackage AJ Styles as 2008 Kofi Kingston?
Like from Jamaica?
Yeah, AJ Styly, man. Yeah, man. Grab the thing into my toolbox and we'll have a good time. Yeah.
Well, he is from Georgia. They could have made him the new Doink.
Oh.
I went there for people who've seen the clip of the Alabama clown.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I saw that. Horrible, just absolutely disgusting. All right, so what do we got next? Is it the main event of the evening?
We have two Hell in a Cell matches.
Oh, okay, but they couldn't put the one where it's like really personal into the Hell in a Cell, right?
Well, this one's personal. Like, so it's Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton. Orton had injured Hardy, might have driven him back into being a broken Hardy, awoken broken.
What? Really? Is that?
Yeah.
He's gonna become Brother Nero again, even though his brother is brother retired, right?
I don't, and they haven't really announced what they're doing with him yet either. And I feel like they've teased Hardy going crazy. This is the part of SmackDown that I have missed. I feel like they've at least teased that he was going nuts, but I don't know if they've fully like gone all that way yet. So I'm gonna look it up here in a second, even though my computer wants to play everything else. Thank you, YouTube, with ads. SmackDown, Orton, Hardy. After this ad plays, brought to you by Hyundai.
Ah, Hyundai. You're not a sponsor, so we're not going to drive your car.
Wow. I used to drive your car.
Boo.
So, yeah, he's doing like full face painted Hardy.
Right. Where like he closes the eyelids and it's like painted eye on his lid, right? Which is weird.
But he had sort of backed off that, so I guess he's just like more crazy again, Hardy, but not fully awoken Hardy.
Oh, he's like semi-rested napping Hardy.
Right.
All right, so let's
I don't know what else to go.
Get rid of that. What?
They beat each other up. I don't know who's gonna win. Let's say Jeff Hardy.
They both cost each other like title shots against Shinsuke Nakamura, right? So that's where we're at. I don't know. I just feel like the two of them were just like, yeah, Randy, I totally would love to work with you again. And he was like, yeah, Jeff, I totally love to work with you again. And that's where we've gotten to where we're at. Vince clearly is, felt comfortable with these guys, so he's like, we'll put him in Hell in a Cell, right? And then here we are. Who's going over?
I am saying Jeff Hardy.
Okay, I'm just gonna go with Jeff Hardy because I don't know. I just don't think that this match matters at all. You know what I mean? Like they really should have given this spot to AJ and Samoa Joe. It would have been new. It would have been fresh. It would have kept the people happy. But I don't know. It's like it's two guys that kind of I don't know. They don't really do. They need this right now. You know.
I don't know why. I've heard criticism that people thought that they have sort of downgraded this pay-per-view, that it didn't have all of this hype, that it didn't have all of this Extreme Rules-esque kind of sense to it. There's 2 Hell in a Cell matches, and one of them has Jeff Hardy in it, who's probably going to do something crazy off the top.
Okay, here's the question that just popped in my head, though. I hate to interrupt you, but with all this controversy with with Randy, and if you haven't heard any of this, read the articles, but basically it has to do with him shaking hands with him touching his privates. There's more to the story than that. With a lot of wrestling lingo of oh, you're trying to big league me, etc., things that generic fans of wrestling that are watching this or listening to it on Spotify don't know. But like backstage is Randy Orton is a lot different than in front of the camera Randy Orton, and basically like he's supposedly in some investigation by the company, which I think is just a front for them just to yell at him and be like, stop doing that shit. You know what I mean? But do you think that that's going to play any sort of effect into the booking here? I don't know. Like there has always been this sentiment that, oh no, the WWE can't lose Randy Orton. Why though?
Well, at the time, I remember when it was first tossed around when he had done some I think, violations of their substance abuse policy. And again, this
Right.
is all rumor.
Right. Where they had
back
to,
in, like,
where they
2000.
literally had to, I'm sorry to interrupt, but they literally had to amend their drug policy so that they could keep him around. And they said, oh, well, if you like apologize or something like that, then, you can get rid of one of your strikes, sort of deal, right?
Or that so much time had passed, so therefore he lost one of his strikes or something like that.
Which I guess is ironic because that's probably why Jeff Hardy's doing okay. Right?
Wow.
Exactly. Thanks, Owen Wilson.
So it's just weird. I mean, there has always been these rumors about his attitude, his behavior. I mean, let's face it, he got a bad conduct discharge because he went to do wrestling and left the military.
And they couldn't have put him in the Marine movie.
Right.
Like they, their number one franchise. They wanted to do this with, and they received all this backlash because he didn't even quit. He just like went AWOL or something like that.
Right. He's also had, I mean, very public about his substance abuse issues, very public about his anger management issues.
Right.
There have been these rumors about things that he's done in the back, grabbing his privates and shaking other people's hands, pooping in women's bags, like that he didn't like. I shouldn't say that it wasn't specifically towards because of behavior towards a female. Maybe it was, but it was against somebody he possibly didn't like, which then is also then later got denied after years of it existing out there. It's just so weird.
Right. That a publicly traded company such as this allows like who they consider like a child, and maybe it's because of what you were saying before as the lineage, right? Of the son of a guy, and I think he's third generation, right? So of a grandfather too that had paid his dues and paid his respect to the industry, allowing like this sort of behavior and still not only getting like a match on the card, but the title match of the pay-per-view on the same show with another person that even like 5 or 6 months ago had another instance with driving under the influence. Like they're in one of the marquee matches.
I missed that one, I think.
Yeah, Jeff, when Jeff was out...
Jeff, I thought you said Randy. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. I was saying he was facing somebody else that had gotten into some other trouble. You know what I mean? But, like, these two guys within the same year are still having, like, a marquee match, the match of the entire show. Like, what is the deal? You know what I mean? Like, what is the explanation? What is the reason for this being an okay thing to happen? You know?
These are two guys who've been in trouble, so if they kill each other off, what's the loss?
Wow. Yeah, I guess you're right in that aspect, but shit. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Could you imagine like your job and my job where, I work in finance. Like, could you imagine like doing these sorts of things, right? Like showing up somewhere and driving a car and being completely inebriated that the cop feels bad.
Say that word again.
What?
Say that word again.
Inebriated.
Right.
This is water, by the way. Just to let everyone know. But the difference is that I'm at home right now. I'm not going out anywhere or anything like that. So this is okay. Compared to Jeff that was clearly driving somewhere, or just these guys have just had numerous offenses, and it's not even that I work at a publicly traded company. These guys work for a place that people put money into with stock, and the stock is doing really well right now. But still, they're just totally backed up by the company. It just, I don't know. It's just such a carny sort of bullshit, like reasoning. And if you have a good reason for why it's okay for these guys to do anything like this, leave it in the comment below, because I don't think that this is acceptable at all.
I think when that happened, they did pull Jeff off of Raw. They separated Matt and Jeff. And that felt like that was part of whatever, like part of the punishment. because, if Jeff was going down that path again of inappropriate behavior or misusing substances, okay, then that won't harm Matt. And since then, there's been no other word of any other behaviors that might be inappropriate. So maybe this has been like just for Jeff, his sort of testing phase. And Randy, the last few years, they bring him back in for a couple of months and he goes away again. They bring him back in for a couple of months and he goes away again.
Right.
And so like it's the light touches with both of them. So let's get the most mileage we can out of both of them. And I think that's exactly what they're trying to do in this Hell in a Cell.
I gotcha. And, I hate to keep talking about this, though, but going back to what you were saying where, they see him, and to take Justin from before, his phrase, like the face of the WWE, right? Like, Randy's been there forever, but is he, at this point in his career, would you still consider him to be a marquee player?
Which one?
Randy. Even
I would
Jeff.
say yes, just because of the way they built him. I would say yes.
All right. To me, there's a difference between a franchise player and a marquee player, right? A marquee player is someone that is going to bring in a bunch of fans, right? And bring in a bunch of ticket players, right?
Yeah.
And I don't like his character or his work or anything like that, but Roman is a marquee player, right? They have built him strong enough to being the top guy right now. He's the marquee guy, and we're gonna go into him in a minute. But as far as Randy, though, he's a franchise guy, a guy that's been there for nearly 20 years at this point, right? 15, 16, 18 years, something like that, whatever. But at some point, it's just like, is it acceptable anymore?
Well, all right. So let's call this spade then too. If okay, after so much time, you lose a strike, in the case of Randy Orton,
right?
Did that also then pave the pathway for Kurt Angle to come back?
Apparently, it does. Apparently, it makes it absolutely okay. Because shit.
Right.
And this is what we call wrestling, right? You know what I mean?
Where's your woo now?
What?
Where's your woo now?
Oh, do you want it? Exactly. You know what I mean?
This is what we call wrestling.
This is what we call wrestling. Episode 78 or whatever. I don't even know. All right. So you're going with Jeff Hardy over on this one?
Yes.
I'm hoping for Kane to show up.
He is currently the mayor of Knox County, Tennessee. He has other priorities.
He's coming back.
Wow.
I know things that you don't know, and I can't talk about them yet.
Oh, okay. All right.
Just later.
Knox County isn't a real place, is it?
No, it is. It is a real place.
I thought that was going to be the work. It's okay. All right. So what do we got next?
And then our main event.
Oh, wait. Hold on.
And in our main event for the WWE Universal Championship, Roman Reigns defends his title against Braun Strowman in Hell in a Cell.
All right. So let's kind of break down the build-up for this. They've been grooming Braun Strowman for the longest time. They've, I would say when was it that he had that match with Brock where he punched him in the face? That was probably over a year ago at this point now, right? On accident?
I don't know. Was it that long ago?
Exactly. You know what I mean? But we'll just go with, this match has been a long time coming. And
it was Royal Rumble, so 7 months ago.
7 months ago. Yeah. I think that I'm excited for Braun. I really want Braun to become the champion. All right, I'm just gonna put that out there, right? We're just like that, but at the same time, it's not happening. It's not happening on Sunday. They finally got enough eggs in this Roman Reigns basket. They're really trying to push this. They're really trying to keep this going until as long as they can before they really have to take it off him. But I think it would be too soon. Clearly, and another video site or user or somebody had used this expression, and I'm just going to reuse it. I don't even know who it came from, but they've literally built a shield around Roman Reigns so that the fans will continue to cheer him and get him over a little bit more. Obviously with Dean and Seth, and I'm not opposed to it. I think it's just a really smart move for them to do something like that. But I think that I think it would be too early for them to take the belt off him.
I agree. I'm right there with you. I do think they're going to keep the belt on Roman. I don't know. Part of me almost feels like there's going to be some weird shenanigans. It was announced on Monday that McFoley is going to be the guest referee in this match. So,
oh, really?
Wow. Where I see, like in the Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton, that you're going to see Jeff do some crazy something off the top of the cage. I think the Roman Reigns Braun Strowman match is the typical, we're going to see them break through the cage. I think that we're going to see something explode in that direction.
Okay. So Jeff and Randy, we could potentially just see them starting on the outside of the cage and going up.
Potentially.
Okay. And then Jeff Hardy will fucking just kill himself and then do a bunch of drugs and wait, whoops. Wow. Sorry.
All of them were kind of appropriate though.
Yeah, right. Really. But okay. So
was that Iron Sheik? What were you doing?
I don't know. I was getting the scratches like I'm doing. Who knows? So all right. So they're gonna break through the cage. That only makes sense. Even if he throws. Is that your computer or my computer?
I think that was yours on that one.
Really?
I think.
I don't even know what's connected or disconnected or whatever.
I didn't do it.
But anyway, so with that being said, we'll I guess, do you think Braun's gonna throw him out? No, Roman's gonna spear him out, right? Roman's gonna end up. What is making that noise? That's what I'm confused about.
I don't know if that one was me or not. That one might have been me.
Okay, so Roman's gonna spear Braun out, right? And then do you think the Shield will get involved after that? Little wardrobe change for the two boys, and
I almost feel it's going to be the opposite. I almost feel like Braun is going to be the one to break Roman. I think Roman's going to get beaten down. I mean, that's most of what happens in Roman's matches.
Yeah, he's a comeback kid.
Right. So just beat him down. He comes back. But maybe the beat down is out comes the Shield. Out comes Dolph and Drew, who've been helping Braun.
Right.
And it's this bigger 6-man melee that then refocuses back on Braun and Roman.
Right. Keeping the belt on Roman after that.
Yes.
And then besides that, leading us right into the Super Show, into Survivor Series, and into Infinity and beyond, right?
Right. Into Avengers 4.
Exactly. All right. Phil, thank you so much for joining us once again on the Tim Zabriskie Show. Where can the people see you? What do you got going on coming up?
Well, you can always follow me on all my social media channels at PS Phenom. You see it right down here below. PSPHENOM. Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. So my next event is going to be September 29th for MCW. Returns for Breakthrough Tag Wars at the MCW Reno 1000 Joppa Farm Road. And again, that's on Saturday, September 29th.
I thought you said Jobber Farm. I was like, wow, that's awesome.
Joppa.
Are there any sweet names that are going to be on that show?
Yes, Teddy Long is going to be there.
That's awesome. He's a player.
Right. He is a player. And, I'm a general manager. He was a general manager. I think we have a bond.
So it sounds like there'll be some shenanigans between the two GMs.
Hey, if I could withstand Vicky Guerrero on my show, I can withstand Teddy Long.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for hanging out and popping by. And going over the show. The next when is the next wrestling pay-per-view? When is Evolution? Is not the next one? What's going on? Where'd you go? I literally have no idea what just happened. I think he's gone. Well, that's the end of Phil. And there's 20 of me, but let's bring it in. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, follow my page. Pick up the t-shirt at Timmy Zabriskie. Message me wherever you're watching this. DM me, and we'll put an order in for you. Just let me know the size. And as you see, it comes in tank tops and comes in regular shirts too. And if not, catch me outside. How about that?